God, and to have that's in us. God put it in us as a fail-safe, the conscience, honor, integrity, these things that we really yearn for, as in, for ourselves, as our own values, like treasure that we're storing within ourselves, that we need to share with others those same values. I wonder, could chemtrailing have anything to do with a world gone mad and getting exponentially more mad every day? Makes one wonder. A transparent veil of deception, courtesy of a murderous, money-loving, power-drunken, control-freak, globalist cabal. Through coupling instincts with integrity and intellect, we the people can, and with God's help, get ahead of the curve. Do yourself and your loved ones a huge favor. Take a little time to imagine how profoundly, how dramatically better our reality could be. Yes, if God had his way from birth, we'd be free from birth. Free from being beholden to the money masters for our survival through a cost of living. How different would that be? About 180 degrees, right? What an awful epiphany when you realize you live in a world, a society, rife with people willing to treat you in a manner they do not wish to be treated. Yeah, that's kind of traumatic, isn't it? And this idea that we've all got some form of PTSD, yes, and the P in PTSD could also be present traumatic stress disorder. So it's not only post, but it's present, and even future. So maybe it should be PF as traumatic stress disorder. Future, the post, present, and future traumatic stress disorder. This is like this foreboding sense I get. When, what's it going to take for Satan to lay down his sword, against the people and to relent, basically. What's it going to take to get the satanic forces to relent, to let the good guys win this battle like is inevitable anyhow? Because good is stronger than bad. Truth is stronger than lies. Right is stronger than wrong. On and on in that theme. That's why you can be certain with an ounce of faith, like Jesus said, a mustard seed of faith, the good guy is going to win this battle. Why do so many people vie to remain oblivious to how the economic sausage of society is manufactured? Yeah, this is that rationalizing. Yeah, I want to be stupid. I want to be ignorance is bliss, man. That's a philosophy we've been trained to believe. That's why we do it. Because we don't want to know how many people are suffering at the hands of our business practices, because we just quietly just decide to be part of the problem, part of the solution, and we don't talk about it, and we don't want to talk about it, we don't want to hear about it, blah, 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 just cover your ears, right? That's sick. I mean, someday you're going to have to meet your maker. You didn't create yourself. Your parents didn't create you. God created you, and God owns you rightfully. All of us need to remember that. I know that. It's not my life. It's not your life. It's his life. And let's live it in a way that is pleasing to him. So we're a fragrant aroma in his metaphorical nostrils. Not a pungent, foul-smelling odor. Terms like mercy and compassion are heard far too rarely in 21st century society. Disambiguating it's a better safe than sorry belief philosophy. Yes, it's better safe than sorry. Who hasn't heard that? I prescribe to that. It's better safe than sorry. That's where, that's kind of like how I feel about capital punishment. And you could, by extension, you could bring that into a lot of your other belief systems. That is better to to speak to somebody tactfully, politely, diplomatically, than to just do what your first instinct might be, just to rail on somebody for something, and to excoriate them in an ungodly manner, when really later you're going to be sorry. So better safe than sorry. Check in and just remember, guard your thoughts, so that's the first step of guarding your tongue. Because remember, it's not about condemning people and getting some thrill, some satisfaction, some gratification from having done that. Oh, I'm right and you're wrong, and here's how you're an idiot. Okay, no. If you can reach them in a way that might say, you know what, this person's right, and I have been wrong. I mean, let's do the right thing, folks. When it comes to reaching each other, let's be nice guys as much as possible. And it doesn't mean you can't be forceful. Okay, remember, just speaking the truth is as forceful as it gets. Okay, you know, bringing logic into the conversation. Okay, that's as powerful as it gets. That's all. You don't need to yell at people. You don't need to tease and taunt people, make ridicule people. Why the attainment of worldly wealth can easily become a detriment to the soul, or as King Solomon stated, a snare to the soul. It goes back to Victor Hugo, right? What he said, prosperity makes monsters and adversity makes men. It's that same kind of mindset. So it is paradoxical. Yes, I believe that we should all be born with a silver spoon in our mouth because God said so, on his terms. Then the whole paradigm is changed. So Victor Hugo, what he had to say would have no effect, no meaning. Okay, but in a world like this where there is this great wealth and income disparity, it has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of virtue. Coping demands that we empathize with those we disagree with. We can only do our honest best to convince others of our beliefs, but never condemn others. Fiendishly, diabolically, we've been cucked at large into accepting perpetual, ever-growing tyranny by way of the financial rape of our nation. That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's what I'm talking about. Stealing the wealth of a nation through overt and covert fraud is the very definition of tyranny, or at least should be. They say, stop complaining. We cheated you fair and square. Yeah, that's their kind of thinking, right? Their rationalization. We cheated you fairly and squarely, right? Gee, rules for radicals, huh? Even in the scheme of eternity, all we really have is a series of interconnecting moments. That's all we have. The past is spent, and the future, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist. So all any of us have is right here and now. The best way to guard against bad behavior is to first guard against bad words. The best way to guard against bad words is to guard against bad thoughts. The best way to guard against bad thoughts is to invite the Spirit of truth to take control over our hearts and minds. And of course, that's done through prayer. Since the government is largely responsible for causing poverty, the government should be held accountable to end poverty permanently. Fix it. You caused it. You legitimized it. You fascist. You legitimized. You went against the will of the people. It's no democracy. It's no republic anymore. I'm not accepting the movement of the Overton window. I want a market correction. I want it now. I want the worth of my currency reset. I want progress as defined by true capitalism, supply and demand capitalism, free market capitalism, a rising tide of prosperity across the board. If time itself were our life's savings, the past is spent, the future is but a hope, and the moment is all we really possess. How one thinks of the indigent is how they think of Jesus Christ. And again, I would quote, whatsoever you do or fail to do, for the least of these you do or fail to do for me, is the words of Jesus. Mass mainstream media is supposed to act as the cutting-edge educators, bringing reliable, accurate information to the public at large. Is that what they're doing?